Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Leah and today I'll be doing some thrift flips for everyday farmhouse decor. This is part of the third Thursday Thrift Flips monthly playlist that's hosted by Elizabeth from Southern GMORE Gals and Tammy from the Rusted Willow. I have the pleasure of co-hosting with them this month. You'll find their links and this playlist link in the descriptions below, so after this video, please go check those out. I'm going to start out with this little organizer for letters, bills, and miscellaneous. So first I'm going to give it a good cleaning, and my favorite cleaning product is none other than just pure alcohol. And I like to use it on soft cloth, and I'll go over this entire area, removing any dust or greasy areas there might be on there. I'm going to be using the Waverly chalk paint in the color Moss. And I'm not going to try to get these back areas because when I'm finished, they're really not going to show. Oh, look how much dirt I got off with that cloth. Ugh. And I'm going to go with one coat of this paint. Now I'm going to give the piece a coating of white wax. And this is the Folk Art brand. And I'm pretty much just going to cover everything that I just painted. And then I'll wipe off the excess that I have. I'm going to go one section at a time here. And then I'll take a clean soft cloth and just kind of buff that off. And then I also did a little bit of distressing here and there with my emery board. Just hitting the high spots. I'm going to be adding a old handle from a cabinet here that's going to be both decorative and useful. And this is one that I've used before. I did some patina color paint around the edges. So I'm going to leave that there as is, but this was just a little bit wide on the area that I was going to put it. So I took just some jewelry pliers and bent those edges upwards slightly so it would fit better. And then I'm going to use a combination of thick solid adhesive by Super Glue. This I got at Dollar Tree. And I'm also going to be using some hot glue. The hot glue will be for the short term, and the Super Glue Fix-All for the long term. I want to put it about in the middle there. Let's see. There we go. And then I'll just let that sit and everything get set up with the glue. And here is how that turned out. Love it. And the handle that I put on there, the drawer pull, I had the idea that I could use either farmhouse beads or a little sign or something when I decorate it for different seasons. And the flowers I have in now are for fall. I paid $1 for this at a yard sale, and it looks like it's hand painted, but really it's just a mass-produced, made in China thing. It looks like it was supposed to have a drawer here, so when I give this a facelift, I also want to make a drawer for it. After I get it cleaned up, I'm going to take it outside and spray it with the Rust-Oleum 2X Ultimate Ultra Matte and Black. Even though the spray paint was Ultimate Ultra Matte, it looks shiny, especially if you compare it to the, I think I used ink. Well, I may have used chalkboard paint on this. Either that or I use the ink Waverly chalk paint. This is matte, that is not, but I'm going to paint another color on top of it, so hopefully it still looks okay. But I'm going to try to get this drawer built before I go any further. This 5-gallon paint stir is just, it's a little bit tight, but I'm not going to be opening and closing it a lot, so I think it's okay. So let me first get a measurement. Right there it will be flush, but then I also want to have spaces at the front and back, leave enough space for the front and back pieces. So I have all my pieces cut for the sides, front, back, sides. I'm going to take some sandpaper and just go over the edges to see if I can file that down a little bit. I'm going to use some 150 grit sandpaper. I don't have a sanding block, so what I'm going to do is just, I don't have any of this cut either. I'm just going to lay it flat, drag those pieces across, and it's filing down. Now I'm ready to start putting these pieces together. I'm going to be putting them together like so. I have these pieces that were a failed project that I hung on to, and I think that'll do well for giving some stability to the piece while it's sitting up. So I'll put it, like I said, on top of the squares. I think it'd be smart for me to glue them into place so they don't slide. All the way to the edge. Reinforce. Make sure it's square. I knew those blocks would come in handy for something if I hung on to them. I think I'm going to leave this square just like that for such an occasion, because I do have a second square. I'm going to reinforce each joint. And then I'll glue those pieces together like so. Be sure I get it just at the top in case the glue starts to run down on me. Ow! That's hot. And I have a drawer, but I don't have a bottom. How about I do this? Just a couple of paint stirs. Oh yeah, that works out great. Give me a mark and cut 2 of those like so to sit down on the inside of that little drawer on the bottom. We'll put this on a silicone mat, so hopefully it doesn't stick. What I'm going to do is just, do I want to put that on? Nah. I'll just put a little bit of glue on these ends and then drop them down. Like so. Drop them down. I lost a little glue along the way, but it's okay. Hey, maybe I should just put the glue at the bottom. That's what I should have done before. Put the glue at the bottom and drop the little pieces of paint stir sticks down on top of that. Yep, there we go. I have a little space that's not completely covered, but it's okay. It's got a little bit of a gap. I don't mind that. I cut these pieces on the side a little too short, and the drawer is falling back into the organizer more than I want it to. So I'm going to add little pieces. See, I had 2 of those. There it is. Add a couple of little pieces on the back to make that not fall down so far in there. I like that right there. Let me put some more glue there. And that should take care of that problem there. I'm going to clean that glue up a little bit on the inside. Just using my little tiny detail scissors to get some of those big blobs out that I put on before I had my brain in gear. I'm going to go ahead and paint before I add my drawer pull on there. And I'm going to be using Waverly chalk paint in the color Celery. It's all about the greens today, y'all. Now I'm going to take my emery board and distress here and there. Let some of that black show through that I had spray painted on. I'll put one of these drawer pulls on there. Also thrifted, I got a 20 pack of these for $3. I have no idea what I'm going to use them all for, but I get to use one today, and this is just like a brushed nickel. And I'm going to put it on there with Gorilla Hot Glue. I kind of overdid it with the glue, but that's something I can go back over later and paint over the ugly glue blotches. Now I want to put a couple of little rub-on transfers on here. These are from Dollar Tree. And I'm thinking, I really love birds. So I'm thinking I'll do a couple of birds. And then up here on this next piece, next part, I'm going to do some flowers. And I want the largest flower in the middle. A little bit behind on that. There we go. Now I'm going to get the little birds on here, and then I'll show you how it looks all finished. There's how it's looking all put together. And I've made a little charging station for my phone and a place to put TV remotes, some pins and such. I think it turned out adorable. The little drawer that I made is going to be holding batteries for my remotes. This is a basket that I thrifted for 50 cents a couple of years ago. Originally it was an odd honey oak orangey color, and I painted it with conch shell, and I'm painting it again. I'm going to be using this Rust-Oleum Painter's Touch spray paint. The color is, let me see if it's listed. I don't see a color. It's probably covered up with a tag. But I got this at Ollie's for $1.99. And I'll be adding Waverly chalk paint in the color Celery. I'm just going to dry brush this on. Not try to get it in every little nook and cranny. Just a little bit over the top of that. So I'm going to finish this, and then I'll show you what it looks like when it's all done. And there is how that turned out. You'll notice I decided to not go all the way up with the celery paint. I just went up to where it started narrowing toward the top of the handle, and then I painted that was wrapped around the handle. And I think it turned out just wonderful. Candles are something that you can buy very cheaply at a thrift store. Sometimes they're burned, sometimes they're not. You may have some that's got dented edges, or maybe they melted in an attic or something. But you can do so much with them, and I'm going to show you something super cute, super simple to add to your everyday decor with these 4 pillar candles. And I've got some printables. These are from the website Dreams Factory, and I've cut it out on cardstock. And I know it's stuff for a bakery or whatever it says in French, but I like it, and I think I can use it in the living room just as well as the kitchen or dining room. I paid $1 for a box full of little tea lights. I'm going to be using those. Obviously, they're all different colors. The green, I'm okay with that. I'm going to leave that as is, as well as leaving one of the ivory or off-white colored candles. But these I'm going to be painting. This is one of the, I Mod Podged a napkin on years ago. I'm just going to peel that right off. And I'm going to paint the candle the color I want. And if I want to burn the candle later, since this has already been burned before, I can add a tea light in there. And if it doesn't fit deep enough, I can always dig out around in there. That one fits pretty nice. So there's that little idea. So going with the same colors I've been using today, I'm using moss and celery from Waverly Chalk Paint. And I'll do, I think the larger one I'll do moss. The smaller one I'll do celery on those. And I'm just going to paint them like you would anything else. No special prep really. I ended up doing 2 coats of paint on each candle because they were pretty streaky. I'm going to be covering the candle with the printables that I just showed you, but I just wanted to do the entire candle. I know that the paints are matte. They don't really look like a candle per se after you paint them, but I'm going to fix that in just a minute when they dry. I'm going to use some gloss Mod Podge on those to bring back the luster of the candles, hopefully. I went all the way around both those candles I just painted with one good coat of the gloss Mod Podge. Okay, now we've got some of that luster back. I missed a spot. I guess I'll put the tag on front of that. I say tag. These were supposed to be, I think they were called coasters, since I missed that spot there. And it's actually the roughest part of the candle as well. I'll put that on like so. Try to kind of center it up. Not completely, but something like that. And I'm not going to glue them. I'm just going to wrap them on with some twine. I want to pull it a little bit tight so it holds them on. And then I'll just tie it on the side. Double knot. And I like having a little bit of the string hanging down. Anytime I do something that I wrap yarn or string or twine, I usually have something like that. So there is one. Let's move the twine around to where it looks nice to me. And some of them I won't even wrap the twine like this. I'll just put one piece around. So go ahead and do one of those small ones. And these I had to cut out slightly smaller because of, well, candles are shorter. And it still sticks up a little bit above the top, so I will make me a mark on there and cut that down just a wee bit. About that much off. Make sure my design still looks good. Yeah, that'd be good. I'll go ahead and cut that other one by using this as a template before I start stringing them on. I'm going to tie this one in a bow. since I've got not enough to go all the way around again, but too much to leave. As far as displaying them, I'm going to put them together on a tray. This is one also thrifted for 25 cents on that. And of course I don't want snowflakes. I'm going to be painting the tray. And I'll have to play around with the arrangement of those. So what I'll do is first paint this with the Rust-Oleum 2X Black. And then I'll go over the top of that with this metallic finish copper coal color from Rust-Oleum. And these make for a great grouping on a coffee table or side table. And I just added a little bit of lamb's ear in those. I think this is so pretty. As always, I thank you so much for watching my video today. If you liked it, please click on the thumbs up so I know that you did. And if this is your first time stopping by, I'd love to have you click that subscribe button on your way out. Until next time, bye-bye.